Good afternoon, good morning, everyone, or maybe good evening, wherever you are around the world. Big welcome to In the Know with Peter No. My name is Peter No. I'll be your coach today. I'm going to be your bodybuilder for sure. And if you're driving in a car, thank you for joining us today because I know you take us everywhere with you. Today is Wednesday, March 20th. I don't know where the time is gone, but today we got a full jam-packed hour. I want to talk about a few topics today as far as maybe because I came down with something yesterday. I don't know what it is. I think they might be spraying some stuff in the air. Are you guys seeing stuff in the air? Wherever you're Susan, yeah, Maggie, everybody, you're seeing stuff in the air, right? So when I see that stuff, do you know what I'm so grateful for? Glutathione. Glutathione. I cannot believe we're living in the times right now. I cannot really believe we're living in the times where we're so educated. We have so many tools in our hands that we can actually learn how to heal ourselves. Does that fascinate you? Isn't it amazing to be part of a community where instead of you saying, I have a headache, oh, let me pop that aspirin or that Tylenol. Oh, I did this. I gotta let me inject this or let me go to a doctor. We're figuring out we might be our own doctors here. You know that, right? We're healing ourselves because we have the tools to do that. So, today I kind of want to go back into the simple basics of the 333. I want to hear from others now. Today I might pick on you. I want to hear how are you piquing other people's interest? Okay, I want to hear that from you. Okay, I want to maybe role play with that because I know no matter how long you've been in the business, you're always constantly learning and hearing from others, correct? You might pick up things here and there, but there's a lot of brand new partners on here. There are new managers on here, so and directors. So before we get started, who's enjoying so far the managers' calls and the new brand partners' calls, directors' calls? Are you enjoying those? Okay. Are you getting value? Is it going to help? Can you see how that's going to help you literally week by week by week? Uh, Speak your language, kind of focus on certain things that brand new people and managers need to go through, right, in the beginning. So I want to use today's time also to kind of piggyback on that. And let me see. Yeah, and I think that's going to take literally our whole hour. So just to start today, though, I want to kind of give value, okay, to our community and value of our business because again, I just came down with something. I don't know what it is, but I feel good. Okay, I have a little stuffy nose. Who here knows when you're going to get sick? When you feel like you something is coming onto you? Oh wow, look at everybody. Raise your hand. Now, when you know, right? When you feel like, oh my God, I think something's gonna come down, do you kind of get like sad a little bit or like do you go, oh my God, I'm gonna lose maybe a day or two? I have all these things to do. What if I have to call that off? um, oh, I have this important meeting or something, I can't go to it because I feel a little stuffy. But then do you sometimes go down the rabbit hole and go, hey, if I didn't have this business or if I didn't have residual income, how much do you really value residual time and residual income? Do you know how powerful it is to just say, call it a day? Because I know we have tons of entrepreneurs here, like Christy. She's a totally entrepreneur, right? But she's very busy, right? So, and she's doing this business though because she really wants freedom. She really wants to be able to be free and do whatever she needs to do, right? So, when I get into this mode, when I get sick or something, I always ask myself, wow, that's pretty cool actually that you can just call it a day, say I'm sick, and I have no boss to check into. I have no employees to answer to. I don't have to take any orders. There's no food expiration date. Heck, everyone, I just paid for my 3 months maintenance pack, $850. I just paid my rent for my business for the next 6 months, and it only cost me patches. Does everybody get that? When you start really thinking about what you're building here every day, the time that you put into this business, right? Even though you're going through rough challenges, even though you're going through learning curves, okay? Every time when you get a pushback or you get a no, I want you to just go back and just always think, yes, I like those because there's no easy business, right? There is no such thing as easy business. But you have to earn your freedom. You have to go through the motion. But network marketing is very, very different than traditional business. It's a totally different beast. It's a totally different mindset. It's a totally different concept. Until you truly live into it, until you truly give your time, until you truly start developing relationships and business and learning new skills, then I think once you go through the challenges of life, for example, if you can build something 1, 2, 3 years, and then you can earn an income that is taking over your job's income, is that a mind? I mean, is that freedom right there? If you're making more money on a side business than your traditional job, that in terms gives you power. Do you know that you're wealthy? We are already wealthy. What is being wealthy? Wealthy, the definition really of wealthy is having something money cannot buy. If you truly have health, that means you cannot buy health. Actually, you can buy health here, but if you're in a bad place, I don't know. But you can actually buy your health. We're buying back our health right now. But truly wealthy is being able to have so much time when you walk away, you're always being taken care of. Does that make sense, everyone? So, to start off the call today, no matter what challenges you're going, no matter, the ups and downs, the people, the life gets in the way. I just want you all to know it's worth it. It's really worth it. Because even if you're not in this business, you're still going to go through the ups and downs and challenges of life. Does that make sense? But over here, at least you're working towards something. It's called hope, right? You're working towards your future. You're working towards, you're part of actually something bigger, which is LifeWave. I don't know how to put it, but the energy that you give out and the energy you take back, when you start giving this constantly, the people are making you wealthy here. Okay, when you see people with you. So this is how we're going to open up our call. Now, let's talk about the 333 real quick. Okay. Now, since I'm going into my trainings, I want to really hear how people are doing things. How are you piquing your interest? Okay. So let me pull this up real quick. Let's define this. Okay. Okay. Everybody can see this, right? Now, what does this really mean? Contact 3, invite 3, and follow up with 3. Again, this is a behavior system. The reason why we came up with this is because in the beginning stages of your career, in the beginning stages of your build out, if you've never been in this industry before, if you've never done network marketing before, you need guidance. You need a structure. The problem in the entire network marketing industry is when teams don't have structure, they don't know what to do in the beginning stages. And if you don't know what to do in the beginning stages, meaning what do you say? What do you send? How do you guide someone through a process? Like almost like a dating process or a purchasing process. If if you don't get this down in the beginning, or if you don't pick up the phone and learn through this process, you will never ever be able to build network marketing. And I'm going to say this, there's no AI, there's no machine or no tools that can replace your human touch, the way you do things. Okay, these are your relationships that you have built, these are your friends that you talk to. So when we say start with us, 333, I'm just going to break this down really simple. What does contact 3 a day mean? Hey Jenny, how you doing? Are you still in the health industry? Hey Karen, how you doing? How's your health these days? Hey Bob, what's up? Are you still with your company? Hey John, are you still a truck driver? Hey Larry, are you still working for this corporation? That's called a contact. It doesn't matter what you do, you're just contacting people and you're learning how to connect with people. Once you learn how to connect, I'm gonna pick on some people. I want to ask, how are you connecting with people? The next thing is, when you connect and you start asking questions, we've created tools. Now there's a website and now there's a podcast. Okay, the website and the podcast. When you have a website, you're inviting people to see something with or without you. When you have once they like what they see, they're going to have to get confirmation, right? Which is a podcast. They want to see testimonials. So, for example, I'm going to pick maybe on Laurie Richardson. Yeah.
Yes.
So, Laurie, I'm going to go through the role play with you later, but I want to ask you a question. If somebody piques your interest in something that you like to talk about, for example, if you like to talk about health, correct? If I
Correct.
send you a website and it says startx39now.com and you go through that website, what was your first take? What was your first initial reaction when you went through that website in the beginning?
Well, I was blessed with a friend that shared it with me, and I didn't even actually see the site. I just trusted him and started patching. But when I did get to go to the site, I was like, oh my goodness, this is even better than I thought. So it was a trust factor. A friend of 20 years I was on the chicken list and they called me.
So I'm glad you brought that up, everyone. So there are different ways how people join. Number one, if you're like Lori and you have trust in the person that invited you to see something, this is the number one way how we join things, through trust, right? You trust that person, you've been friends with them, they're not going to steer you the wrong way, right, Lori?
That's correct.
Now, the second way you can join is you trust that person. That's why you're looking into something that they're telling you to look at. Does that make sense, everyone? There's two ways. Someone can literally buy something from you. Hey, Peter, I know what you are. I know what you do. I trust you. Okay. There's a lot of us that do that. But then there's people like, hey, Peter, I trust you. What do you got? So I want to ask Lori, when you saw that website, you're like, oh my God, there is so much more to this, right? How did it feel when you had your aha moment when you saw that website? That's your
When I,
aha.
well, when I started seeing what the value of what the company was offering just on that website was like, wow, this is something I can share with anybody because there's so many different avenues depending on what the person wants, what they need as my contact. Some people need to see a visual. Other people want all the facts. Just give me all the facts. Our site that we have offers so many options. You just got to know who you're talking to.
So, Lori, if you're brand new and you don't know any information, you don't know anything about the company, the technology, but you have a tool, and then you recognize that your friend sent you that website, and then you saw it, and don't you ask like, wow, isn't this a cool team that created a tool for you to use? You didn't have to pay for the website. You didn't have to pay for all that content. That website took 4 years. Noreen has been with us for that long. She's seen all those testimonials, right? So when you go through that, I want each one of you to understand, even through trust or not, everyone has to see a website, no matter what. So I have a Dr. Joshua. He's a naturopath, and he said the same thing as you, Lori. He goes, Peter, my clients just trust me. I'm like, yes. What did you send them after you told them after they decide to buy? I didn't send him anything yet, but he's brand new. So that's why I'm talking about this. So I said, Dr. Joshua, if you were to send them a website and if you were to send them a podcast, what if something on that website or something on a podcast piqued their interest so much that they decide they wanted to share this with or without you? Would that be a good thing?
It'd be a very good thing.
Great. The moment you do that, Lori, are you duplicating yourself?
Yes, because anybody can send the website out and anybody can find the new podcast list that you guys have made this so simple now. Anybody can follow that. And even off the X39, it tells you when the next podcast are. I mean, how beautiful is it, guys?
I don't, I, it's almost, the system is so like, I want to dummy proof in a sense for MLM, but it really is designed that way. Now, once you see this website, Lori, and you're like, oh my God, and then your friend sends you actually a recording of a podcast. Like yesterday, everyone, did you see how many people were on Dr. Stacy's call? 500 and almost 90 people. When Lori, if you get a webinar and you see 590 people on there and you hear the content, you hear the interviews, you see the people are on there. And that was really one good interview. I mean, that doctor, she has a wealth of information. I learned a lot. But imagine, Lori, that is going on every single week in our community. When you see that podcast, what would be going on in your mind after you see that?
Well, number one, usually when you're sent to a podcast or a meeting on most other companies, you might see 20 people. And
Correct.
most of them are all partners already. You might be the only guest. But when you see that all these other people are guests and there's all these other people backing it up, you're like, wow, I want to be a part of it. The energy level is unbelievable.
Now, if you were to send a website, Lori, to 10 people, and then you send them a podcast, you're literally doing the 3 contact and then you're inviting. Then the other 3 is the follow up, right? After they watched it, you got to follow up and ask them, hey, Kevin, how did you like that? Hey, Lisa, what did you think of that? Hey, what did you learn from that podcast? Does everybody get that? That is the 333. We've done it in such a way now. Imagine though, if you're following up with everyone like this, and all of a sudden, Lori, in a week, you enrolled 2 or 3 people because you invited 10 people that week on that call. Now, those 3 people that enrolled, the next week, what if you give them a schedule? And then that schedule, you ask them, right? On my manager's call, I'm asking you, hey, Lori, how many hours can you give me a week? 3 hours, 6 hours, or 9 hours? And I give you a schedule. And what if those 3 people are getting trained by leaders in the team with or without you?
Hooked into Marcy's training on Mondays and Tuesdays, and then yours on Wednesdays.
Are you guys now seeing the ebb and flow? It's called an ebb and flow of an organization because everyone is on the same schedules. We're trying to get 100,000 of us or even 1,000,000 of us on the same schedule now. Does that make sense, everyone? Now, if we do this together, Lori, and the only thing, you've been in network marketing, you failed with 4, 5, 6 other companies, You've got that experience, and you can recognize now what is a good system, a supported system, and you join here, and all of a sudden you go through the first week, the second week, the third week, and the fourth week, and within the first 30 days, you already start seeing people join your team, people going through the training, and nobody's lost.
It's perfect. If everybody follows your system, there's no way we're going to lose people.
There's no way you can lose people now. The only way we lose people is if you don't have that relationship with that person. We cannot pick up that phone for you, right, Lori? We cannot make
Right.
that 233 for you. I can't even tell you who to call. But if we all are finding people that are like us or better than us, don't you think we're building a community of bigger, stronger uh, people?
They all have the same common goal. They want health, and they want freedom, and they want time.
Correct. Now, I've been in organizations where, yes, the top leader wants certain things done, but then because of the structure of the plan, the structure of how people benefit, sometimes the leader cannot control the entire messaging of that organization because there's too many other leaders that have other ideas on how to do things. The moment you start creating confusion, what's going to happen, Lori?
The team is going to fall apart.
Correct. So, if you're brand new here, everyone, repetition is the only consistent repetition, consistent information, consistent behaviors. Like Lori, if you and I were to go to the gym today and it's our first day in the gym and all we do is do sit ups for an hour, don't you think after 6 months you and I are going to have a 12 pack?
I'm sure.
What are we doing? We're just doing the same thing: sit ups, sit ups, sit ups, sit ups, right? Until that muscle is so strong. So, I want to talk about this today because sometimes we get discouraged. Sometimes life gets in the way. But the one thing you have to know, you're building a system, you're developing into a system. So, whatever happens to you in the future, Lori, whether you get sick one day, whether something happens in life, don't you think the amount of investment into this system one day is going to pay you off, that maybe you can walk away or you can truly create an income? Maybe you might not have to work. Does that
Oh,
make
it's
sense?
this is so duplicatable that, I mean, like you said, it's bulletproof. If you just follow the instructions you guys are giving us, there's no reason why we can't make this successful. Just pick
Correct.
up the phone.
Now,
Contact
the
three.
Now, the one thing we cannot do again is we cannot pick up the phone for you and we cannot tell you who to call. That's on you. So let's pick on this. So, Lori, how do you pique someone's interest? What's your first, couple of lines, or how do you call people? What do you say?
First of all, I try to reconnect if I haven't talked to them. When I first call them, I say, there's something I really need to talk to you about. But first, before that, how's Joey doing in soccer? What's going on with your husband's job? Is he still loving it, or how's it going? And then once we get through the little reconnecting, then I'm like, okay, I really want to share this with you. Do you have a few more minutes? And if they're open to it, I talked to them about something that I found that a friend shared with me. And could I send you to this website? And then if they want more information, we send them to a podcast. That's for somebody I'm following up with. I haven't talked to in a while.
Everyone, do you see how simple that was? Lori was just Lori. She just opened up a conversation. It All we want you to do, everyone, is just be you. Don't ever be a salesperson or anything, right, Lori? Just be you.
That's right.
But again, it's your relationship with that person. So, for example, if Lori has a list of 10 people and it happens to be a very warm list, you're going to talk to your warm list differently than a cold list. Correct? A warm list is you asking about your son, you're asking about their family, you're asking about what's going on in their life because you know them. But if you don't know them, then it's going to be a different conversation, right? So, like myself now, I'm going to teach this. I'm going through my Facebook now and I have different people liking my posts. When I have people liking my post, I'm like, oh my God, that's Mike. I haven't seen him for 5 years or 10 years. Oh my God, that's Sue. She liked my post. Where has she been? So what do? I go into Messenger and I'm like, hey Mike, how you been? Hey Sue, what's up? Long time no see. Does everybody get that? So when you post something, right?
Paper, and I don't know what happened to that six paper paper.
So when you post something and then people like it, you can actually maybe connect with them because that is another way of connecting. That could be a three, you know that. So the three could be 3 phone calls. It could be contact three on Facebook. It could be contact three on Instagram. It could be contact three on where what's the LinkedIn, wherever your business model is, right? But are you really doing three? Are you really doing two? Or are you really doing one? Sometimes I can tell from the business if you're talking to people. And if you're not talking to new people every day, then that's when things start slowing down. Then that's when no new energy happens, right? And now when I go through my training calls, I'm guiding everyone through that process. So in the Asian community, okay, this is a big problem. You know why? Because we have Vietnamese people that just hang out with only their groups. And then every weekend they just hang out with their comfortable groups. And then when they join a network marketing company, who are the only 3 or 4 people they share them with? Only their groups. That's it. So then I have to explain and I have to teach my Asian group, if you don't learn how to go talk to other nationalities or other people outside of Asians sometimes, the community is only going to stick this small. And my Vietnamese people here, they know what I'm talking about, okay? So I'm kind of training you. You have to expand. You have to literally expand your horizon. You got to go out and talk more to different people. So let me call someone else. Who here would like to teach, share how they peak? Let me share another one then before I find one. So literally, I'll just go through the Facebook Messenger and I'll be like, "Hey Mike, it's been so long. Oh my God, how you been?" Or when I call someone, literally, I always remember where I met them, where I met them from, how did we connect, and then I start that conversation back from there. Does that make sense? Depends on how you do it. It's all up to you. But I always like to do like Lori. Go straight to the point. Ask them how you're doing. Ask them how their family is, and go straight to the point. How have you been? What is new going on? That is an open-ended question for them. How have you been? What's new going on? Okay. When you start a dialogue like that, then you can start going into, what have I found? What did I discover something? Oh my God, how's your health been? Right? Carrie, you want to add something to that? Did you raise your hand?
Yes, so I'm working a lot on social media. And so if you send them a really nice compliment, or comment on their post and not just say like amen or just a one word sentence, the algorithm really loves you if you can comment on there, and then it opens up a conversation for you to be able to have with them. Then you can get them in your Facebook Messenger and you can start building that relationship with them. And so that's kind of what I've been doing, working on social media. It's working very, very well. And, I don't like getting those messages from network marketers. I will block them. I'm just being honest. They will send me all their business stuff, and I'm just like, block, because I want to know like who they are, and I want them to know that they care about me, vice versa. So it's all about building relationship marketing.
And thank you for Carrie for saying that. And I just got a message like that too from an industry leader. I have no clue who he is, but then he goes, "Hey, he piqued my ear. He's like, great picture, da da da. Looks like your industry leader, da 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 da." But then right away when I asked him, oh yeah, I was like, thank you, Danny. Da, 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 da. And then he's like, are you into crypto? I'm like, no. And then I was like, okay, but you want to might take a look at this. And then he texts me a whole body of how strong his company is, what they've done. And then he goes, you might be doing numbers like this, but this is the first time for me here. Again, I felt like Kerry, right? Kerry, he didn't care about who I was. He didn't ask me any more questions. After the second line, he went straight into the business part. That is fine if that's how they do it. But again, we want to teach you here the human touch. You got to go through this process, okay? You got to just go through this process. And that's why we're talking about this so much more now, because if you don't get through this process, the peaking part and the invite part and leveraging the tools, again, you're not going to break through in this business, no matter what you do. This is the part where you're going to the gym and you're going to have to go through that pain, that soreness. If you're not sore, you're not building muscles. If you don't get no's, if you don't go through a tough spot, you're not growing. And this is getting out of your comfort zone. How many of us are uncomfortable? Good. Stay uncomfortable. Don't get comfortable. Okay. So D, what would you like to add?
Well, I don't do social media, but what I did, and I got like 5 telephone numbers, is they'll ask me, gosh, Denise, you're looking real good. And I go, well, actually, what I say is, how you been doing? And they say, good, good. And I say, good. And they go, you look great. What's going on with you? And I says, well, I'm just getting younger. And they go, what do you mean?
That's a good line. Everybody, you heard that one. I'm gonna start using that
And they
one
go,
too.
well, how are you getting younger? And I go, well, let me send you a website, and I'll, when can I call you? Tomorrow? What time?
Awesome.
And yep. And then I was at Red Hat Ladies. I got 5 telephone numbers, and then I went on a bar crawl and I got like 8 telephone numbers, because they all want to be younger, because they all like to, have a good time.
Now, I'm going to do 2 things right now, okay, everyone, because again, we're training through this process. When somebody says, how you doing? Well, what did you say? Or I'm getting younger. The moment when D says that, she must have piqued that person's interest, right? So D, if that person was in front of you, I would dig a little bit more. Meaning I wouldn't just give them a website. I would actually, now we're going to go into the phone presentation, everyone. What I would do is, this is what Eric Beale teaches, right? I would take out their phone. Take their phone and type in startx39now.com. And then I would, that extra 1 or 2 minutes, D, I'm going to take their phone and I'm going to punch it in. And then what we do is I'm going to scroll through the website. And what Eric does is, hey, take a look at this video right here. Hey, look at all these pictures right here. I want you to go through that like a presentation. And that could be a 1, a 2, or a 3-minute presentation. Why do you need to do that?
Peak interest.
You're piquing more interest, D, because if you just said, you got them already high. Oh my God, I'm how you doing? Oh, I'm reverse aging. I'm getting younger. What are you talking about, D? How are you getting younger? Hey, come here. Give me your phone. Give me your phone right now. Let me type this in real quick. Take the phone, type in the website. Once you type in the website, hey, look, Lisa, this is why I'm getting younger. Do you see this picture? What have you heard about light technology? Look at this. I want you to pique them so much. Then if it only takes a minute or 2 or 3, then after you go through the website, then you want to ask them, hey, Lisa, can I invite you on a podcast tonight that we have every day? Because if you have 5 numbers, I want you to make sure that those 5 people are so piqued that you can follow up with them. Sometimes because you already have them in front of your face, they're already in front of you. Does that make sense, everyone? If they're not in front of you, that's different. But if they're in front of you, I can't imagine how many people I ran into Costco, Starbucks, car wash that I met. And then I got their info, but I let them go. And then I sent them the website, but then maybe they got so busy or it wasn't peaked enough. It wasn't deep enough, that connection. Does that make sense, D? So if we can go deeper into asking them, take an extra 1 or 2 or 3, like what Carrie said, give the extra 1 or 2 or 3 minutes of love, right? Of that more connection, and they are gonna value that, and they'll be like, oh my God, D, really, like, this is amazing, D. Now I know why you're getting younger. I'll hop on your podcast. If you give them 1, 2, 3 minutes and they actually hop on the podcast, that means that you went through the whole dating process with them. Make sense? If you kind of get their number and you just kind of chasing them later, you could be chasing them again. So this goes into again, get their phone, build a little bit more deeper connection, and go through that process. So I think it was Diane and then Angela. Diane, you want to share something?
I think the biggest thing with the 333, and this is for everybody, it is absolutely the follow-up. I mean, Peter, I have a lot of contacts and I do another business beside LifeWave, although I want LifeWave to take over everything. So I was at a trade show last week in Anaheim. I work with a lot of really awesome vendors, and I had talked to them about LifeWave. And so 3 that I knew probably needed, I went over there and I said to her, you have to care. Stephanie, how are you doing? What's going on? You know that I'm in this awesome business besides what we're doing here. She said, Diane, I really need to talk to you because I couldn't say anything to you before, but Mark was just diagnosed with, I'll just say, with ALS. And I said, Stephanie, I'm so sorry to hear that. She said, I want more information, on LifeWave. And then another young guy, very young guy who was vax injured. He's like, Diane, I really want to know about those patches now. So it's really, I mean, if you care about people and they know you care, they are going to eventually come back to you. You think that it's a no, but it's never a no forever. It just isn't. No. And you just really, really, really have to follow up.
And that is so Diane, thank you for that. And that is the earning. When you follow up, you're earning that person's relationship. Does that make sense? You're giving them the time. They're actually knowing that you care. And I'm going to go into this. David Schmidt is actually paying us, everyone, to build relationships. He's paying us through 1, 2, 3 generations, and he's paying us to spend our time with people. That's why we only get paid 3 ways, not 10, not 8. He doesn't want you to jump through hoops. He's literally guiding you through the process, just like we're guiding you through that process, right? So thank you for that, Diane. Angela.
Hey, Peter, I just wanted to come on here and share because part of my morning routine, after I do all the necessary things, I'll spend a few minutes on Facebook looking at the birthday notifications. That's a perfect way to reach out to people. And so what I do is I actually find a gift that I think is appropriate for them. I comment with a gift. And then I go and I send a message to them in Messenger. I don't mention anything about LifeWave. I just say that this is my year to reconnect with people. I don't even remember how we met. How did we meet? You know what I mean? Because you get so many people following you, and it's just a way to start conversations. And I actually created a little tracking form so that I could list. I got to filter my background. Anyways, I have a little place for the date that I reached out to them, a gist of the conversation, and then when I'm going to reach back out if they haven't responded. And I just keep, and it's a slow, methodical way to build credibility and relationships. If I go right into it, especially if I haven't talked to them for a long time, then it doesn't feel sincere to who I am as a person. And the tracking form just allows me, I have a 1 through 31 in my notebook, and I move that form to the next date that I want to reach out to them. And so I'm always looking ahead. And once they become a brand partner or a customer, I put a little sticky note with their auto ship date on it, and it goes on that number. And so it sticks out. So I know to check ahead, check in with them a couple days before their order is going to process to see if they want to try something new. And so that's kind of my system. But the birthday is really a nice gift from Facebook, where a lot of my followers are. And it's, we just have to have a system in place to follow up with them and take it behind the scenes.
So Angela, in a day, how many hours are you messaging, following up, and plugging into with LifeWave? How many hours in a day would you say is that average?
Oh my goodness. So I'm a salon owner, so I have dedicated only Friday, Saturday, Sunday to my salon because I want to start doing this full time. But so I have spent just reaching out to people. I probably spend a good focused hour. Sometimes it's in 15-minute increments, but I'm also working on duplicatable systems that are automating my business to make the follow-up more natural and consistent. And it's something a new skill I'm learning in myself. And so that requires a lot more time. And so I'm taking the Team Evolve system, a 333 approach, and I want to plug them into what you guys do, but I'm also doing it in an email format for those people that can attend the training.
So you're really, really hands-on with your system. You're really trying to flow and create that. And obviously, because you're a salon owner or you're in the beauty business, everything to us is appointments, right? Every minute, every half an hour, every hour counts. So that's why I say it's perfect for the beauty industry. But
and to your point about the appointments, when I have a conversation with somebody in Messenger, what I immediately try to do is, hey, you got time for a quick Zoom? Because I want them to connect to me in person. And if they're geographically in another area, I can't do that. So we get on a Zoom and we're just catching up. I don't necessarily bring up LifeWave until either they ask what I'm doing or there's an appropriate time to mention it. And I have a bunch of seeds planted. I feel like I'm just on that cusp of exploding. I'm almost to director, not quite, but it's there. It's right there. And but I think the jump next to that will be even quicker. So for me, I want my systems in place so that I know that I can take care of not only my team, but also my customers, and that everything flows. And it's tracking, because you know what? In my previous experience with network marketing, I let so many people, I gave samples that were a lot more expensive to ship than the patches, and I never followed through. Never. And I had people reach out to me 2 years later saying, I feel really badly, but I misplaced the samples you sent me, and gosh, your hair looks so beautiful and I want to try it now. You know what I mean? And so I'm not making that mistake with this company.
So the name of the game from Angela, from everyone, is, again, it's the follow up. Follow up is like asking someone on a date and then you actually show up to the date. If you ask someone on a date and you don't show up to the date, oh man, we got get some pissed off people. But the thing is this too, right, Angela? If you talk to so many people and you don't have a flow with it, you can get overwhelmed. That's why I ask, how many hours are you putting into it? And then if you really know who you're talking to, you're really giving that 1, 2, 3 people that time, right? Because we only have so much time in a 7-day period. The week just goes by like this, everyone. You notice that, right? So follow up, follow up, follow up. Now, does anybody want to share how other ways they follow up? How you following up? Okay, I'm guilty myself. Okay, I've asked a lot of people on a date and I didn't show up either, quite a few times. Okay, but this is the kicker, everyone. I don't know how to put it. Angela, who here wants an Angela on their team? Raise your hand. I want to. Good. So imagine this. Imagine you go through go through your 333s, and all of a sudden you enrolled in Angela. and there's an Angela, you and an Angela working together week by week by week, and you're seeing growth. And then you get excited, and all of a sudden you find another Angela on your other side. So now you got two Angelas. Angela, what do you do now when you have two Angelas, one on the left and one on the right? What do you do, Angela?
You plug them into the training and keep going.
That's it.
I help them identify their 10 people to get started, and we're starting to do team-wide virtual patching parties. We have our first one scheduled where everybody has to come up with at least one guest. And the other thing that I started doing that may help a lot of people on this call is I was invited to do a vendor event with other companies, and we have one day where we get to make 15 posts about our particular product. And I actually ended up with one brand partner and 4 new customers from that event that I did. So, and then now it's reoccurring, like every 2 weeks I'm in a new vendor show. So that's been wonderful.
So thank you for that one, Angela. And those are many different ways of how to reach out, right? Again, there's warm market, cold market. So my question now is, what do you do when you have two Angelas that is building? And Angela is almost a director, right? So imagine you have an Angela on your right and an Angela on the left. The reason why I'm asking this question is this. Angela, what if you worked this hard one time in your life? What if it took you just that one phase to go through, everyone? Just what if it took you that one phase, that spurt, whether it took you 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, or a year, right, Angela, to find two Angelas? But once you're done with that, I'm just telling everyone, your mind is going to shift. It's just going to shift because you've never, it's almost like riding a bike, you know, you fall, but it only takes that one time when you get on that bike, you're confident. Once you do that, Angela, you are now going, you're a professional. You're really a professional in this industry going through this whole process with us. And I'm telling you, I'm preparing your mindset for this, everyone, because I want you to know what that feels like. I want you to know what it feels like to find someone like you or even better than you. I want you to know what it feels like to work for the first time, actually work a partnership. Does that make sense, everyone? If you've never experienced what a true partnership is, this is the perfect industry to do that. And you can see that. I mean, everybody, you know Sally, right? Sally Fung, she does all the marketing tools, all the business banners. She's like my sister. I've been with her we've known each other since I was 10. Everybody knows Suzanne McGee, right? Suzanne McGee. I was her downline in New Skin 15 years ago. 15 years ago. Sabi, Dr. Harmon, Claudia. There's so many. Juliana, Carol. There's Karen. There's so many people that I've worked with so long ago that we're here today. So, who else? I think it was Heidi Pearson. Did you want to share something, Heidi? Don't get shy.
Well, I'm just, maybe this is a good wrap up. I had one of those days where I got discouraged. I've had, from a couple of weeks ago, you talked about boundaries.
Yes.
And I have a lot of folks that I'm constantly following up on and talking the same talk again, that do I want to order? Maybe I want to order, and they have these excuses, and then they get excited. I have a lot of those. I have a lot of people that won't do their own orders. I have to do their orders for them. And I talk to them so many times. Hey, we need to set this up. You need to do this. This is like your own account, own Amazon account. So just listening to everyone that shared today was so encouraging, because I did get my one manager finally, and she is that. My business doubled just because of her and what she's done, 2 patch parties on her own, and et cetera, et cetera. So I have that I know it's gonna come because this came unexpectedly, and that second manager is gonna come, just like you said.
Thank you for sharing that, Heidi, because again, we all go through that process, everyone. You can't even deny it. You have to go through this process. So right now, Heidi, you're in between that process of supporting and just maintaining. You're maintaining your volume because you're just supporting. Volume is volume. So in the beginning stages, you're going to do whatever it takes, right, Heidi, to create volume, whether it's a customer, whether it's helping signing up people for someone. That is the process. When I started, all day I was just signing up people for other people. That's all I was doing. I was so good at just signing up people. I knew how to enroll someone in like 3 minutes, right? But if I didn't go through that, I wouldn't know how to be so good at enrolling people. Does that make sense? So everything you do here, Heidi, and everyone, just know it doesn't go to waste. You gotta go through that process. So for example, Christy, she grew so fast. She literally just signed up so many people in the beginning. She grew. She didn't even know what anything was, but she had a lot of upline support to help her. And we went through that process with her because we wanted her to just be free and just talk to everyone. But now she's starting to see, okay, now I have people I'm responsible for. Now I got to get in and I kind of coach them a little bit. I got to show up a little bit here and there. And I give her A for effort because she shows up for all these calls. She learns and she's a busy entrepreneur, right? So each one of you, I want you to, even if you're not bringing people, just by being in this community in itself, it's already kudos to you, okay? Because we don't judge, we don't judge, but if you do a rank, so a rank, everyone, again, a rank just defines how many people you've developed, okay? It just defines that. If you're not a rank, you're going through that process of identifying and developing because you're learning yourself. Okay? There is no right, there is no wrong. It's just a process. Some people might take a year to graduate, some people might take 4 years to graduate. We don't know, right? But at least you're still here. So, Christy, you want to share something? You have your hands up?
Yeah. Hi, Peter. Hi, everyone. I'm Christy. I'm in the business for 4 months. So, very quick to share that how today I go and enroll three people. Very quick. So I walk around with 2 of my friends, brand partner with X39. Actually with 10 patches. So we in the elevator, we saw these 2 women walking in there limping and hurt. So guess what I did? I said, how are you doing today, ma'am? And then it said like, oh yeah, my leg hurt. I said, what if I tell you, if I have this new technology that I patch on you, just like on my chest, and it may take your pain away and you can go casino and play all day and not feel pain. And then the lady, they both look at me like, and then they say, okay, I'm interested. I'm listening. I say, all right, follow me out the elevator. So they went out and then we sat down. I patched of the lady. And then I say, what's your pain level from 1 to 10? She say, 8. How about now? And then she started jumping around and one lady was hugging us and she was crying. She said, oh my God, like pain gone. Next, forward, I went to visit my friend chiropractor. As I walk into the door and the guy walk out and I say, how you doing, sir? I say, yeah, I just have my back, I say, oh, you hurt? They say, oh yeah, it's hurt. Like, what's your pain level? 8. What if I tell you that I have something for you? It's just like the past like this, and it may help you that remove your pain. And then he's like, what? I said, yeah. So I explained, I said, I'm going to do X39, rejuvenate the stem cell for you. But don't worry about it. I'm just patching, no medication or no transdermal. Don't worry. And then I patch it on Eon, X39, I-Wave. Let me know what your pain level. 9. Okay, how about now? After like a minute, he's like, what? And I say, okay, let me get your number because I gotta go meet with Jason. Then got a number. 5 minutes later, he called me. He's like, Christy, what did you put on my back? I feel no pain. What is it? I say, wait a minute, how does that work? I say, I hear the link. I gotta talk to the doctor first, but I follow up. So later on, I'm gonna sign him up too. Okay, so and then we went to nail salon, just like that. Make sure you walk around if you already experienced this. That means it works. So, but you only have one shot. Okay, this is cold market here, and there's a lot of cold market out there that in pain, that you see them walking, limping, and in cane and all that. Just be nice and sincere, right? So one chance only. So you must patch daytime, X39 Eon I wave. All right. At nighttime, don't patch X39 because you don't want them tonight. They go home and they can't fall asleep. They blame on the patch, right? So carnosine, Eon, and I-Wave. But before you patch, make sure you give them some water first. Okay? That's all I want to share.
Who can say no
Today.
to Christy? I don't know who can say no to Christy, but make sure, Christy, all those people you're patching, you're bringing them to the podcast, okay? Every single one of them. You have to send it to them because now they know that you did this. You're so good at peaking. But now what is next, right? They have to see the community, everyone, right? When they get the results, they're already peaked so much. Now, once you show them the community, Christy, if they like it, now you're duplicating, okay? You always have to initiate it yourself, but after that, you're duplicating the system. So thank you for sharing that. And now you know why, everyone. She has so much energy, so no one's gonna say no to her, right? Who wants a Christy on their team? Raise your hand. I want 2 Christies. One left, one right. So, oh my God, I don't know where it goes, but damn, did it feel like an hour today? That was an hour. My God. Okay. Well, everyone, I'm going to be in Idaho this weekend. Okay, so if you know anyone in Idaho, let me know. I'm going to be with Savi, Dr. Harmon, Kathy, Midge, Cheryl, with our whole entire with Marcy in Idaho this weekend. I don't even know how many events there's going on in this week all across the country. Okay, Team Evolve is literally, we're spreading out now. And this is, I'm going to close the call with this. I love our new schedule. Okay. This new schedule is allowing us to literally learn, train everyone Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you can go out and peak, follow up, get them into something. Does that make sense? We're all learning how to flow together through this process. Okay. So in the next few weeks, as we're going to define this, we're going into the deeper trainings. I want all of you just to slowly adjust your schedules to our schedules, right? And then you're going to know what to do Monday morning, Monday afternoon, where to plug in, Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night. Get it, everyone? And once you get that out of the way, you can do your peaking Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then you can do your follow-up Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Does that make sense? Just learn how to kind of adjust your rhythm to us, okay? I'm learning it myself, but once we close out this month, it is game on, okay, everyone? Again, our only job in the next 6 months is I want to make sure each one of you identified and develop 2 bodybuilders, 2 business partners for you. Because once you see what's going to be launched in October, you're going to wish you knew more people. Okay, you're going to wish you talk to so many people, because by that time everybody's going to want what we have. Okay, so it's been another great training. Thank you for each one of you for always showing up. And look at this, even our attendance now, we're growing, everyone. Every Wednesday we're growing. Okay, today we had almost 150 people on here. And I remember when I started this exactly a year ago, I think it was only like 10 or 20 people. So it takes time to build audience, but this is called a loyal audience. And how do I know it works? Because Thomas, because Beth Ann, Susan, because Willie, Heidi, Karen, Deborah, because you're growing. The only way this thing is keeping alive is you gotta keep on growing, okay? So, love you all. I'll see you tonight with Marcy's call, and then I'll see you tomorrow with the testimonial call, and I'll be doing a lot of Facebook Lives in Idaho, okay? So, join in, and I'll see you later.
Thanks,
Bye.
Peter.
Thanks, Peter.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Enjoy the
Peter.
school in Idaho.
Aloha.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Peter.
Peter.
Thank you, Peter.
Bye, everybody.
Later on.
Peter.